the emotions that as a child you felt coming in.
Yeah. I can remember standing here many times in tears, crying and holding on to my daddy's hand and begging him, don't let us go in there. My father was a pleasant country man, and he dutifully released us and let us go into the nuns' care, not knowing what was going on in there and the brutality that was meted out to us 24/7.
Well, immediately, you know, it was a sense of darkness, coldness, despair, and you were bullied and beaten, and they would have locked you up in dark cupboards, beat you with bamboo sticks, blackthorn sticks, leather straps. Even when you were bathed, you were nearly getting drowned. Your head was scalded. Often enough, I was told I was ugly, unwanted. Nobody wanted me, that I was evil, that I was going to burn in hell. You still can't fathom how these nuns would do that to you. It's stuff that happened to us you wouldn't do to an animal. So it was, in the end, I didn't have any tears left. I didn't cry because I was getting no reaction. I turned into a very angry young child, very confused, emotionless. I didn't know what love was anymore. That was all snatched away from me. There was one day then, I was aged 11, one of the nuns came up with us and just said, right, it's time for you to go. And from then on, it was just trying to live and survive on my own. I was happy just running across railways, you know, maybe with trains coming up and down. That's where I was most happy. You know, I was eating fruit and berries off the hedgerows. I didn't care if I really lived or died because there was no one to care about me or cry for me. The troubles were starting a little, and there was skirmishes and little riots going on, and that was a place and a time then where I could vent my anger and rage, was starting throwing bricks and bottles. I had no fear at all of anyone or anything. You know, everyone got to know me then. There's Maggie, the best rioter on the Armour Road and the best fighter. Then I was fighting with everybody. I was quite notorious then. I was known as Mad Maggie. You know, I don't know what was I doing, what was I setting fire to? You know, was there a part of myself in that? That anger and rage, I think, was coming through that, yeah, that was a form of setting fire to whatever had hurt me in the past. I was arrested so many times and I was on probation or sent to jail. And then this happened so often that even the screws, the wardens, got to know me so well as the police and the army. There came a time, you know, that I knew that I didn't want to behave in such a manner. I was before a judge and I knew I couldn't go to jail this time because of my child. I had actually children then. So I prayed to God, cried out to him, Lord, if you're real, would you get me off? And he knew that I was telling the truth. He knew by the way I meant it in my heart this time. And he stepped in and got me off when I should have went to jail. And I know God stepped in because no one can tell me different. And things gradually began to change in my life. There was a feeling like of joy that no one could ever take away, that I knew he was real. And I knew from that moment on that God was instilling love into me. I wasn't changed overnight. There was a lot of work that had to be done on me. I still had to live with that anger and rage, you know, and it wasn't going to be fixed in a week or a year or 2 years. I realised that all this unforgiveness that I was holding in my heart was damaging me. The people who caused and inflicted this pain and suffering upon me didn't give me a second thought. So I was carrying all this and I had to release it. And the more I began to release this, the more lighter I became. You know, the more I began to smile, the more I wanted to forgive everyone. And I couldn't have done this and forgave my abusers or those who brutalised me an entire life. All I ever wanted to do was attack people and have revenge upon them. And it was only with God's softness and gentleness that I was able to do this. You know, and he is a God of love. He's a God of perfection. And most of all, he's a God of justice. I didn't realise that what happened to me wasn't allowed, but God said it wasn't done in His name. So He used me, and He kept the boldness in me that I had, and that determination. It was in order to bring justice to so many hurting people out there who hadn't got a voice. And He enabled me to do that and speak truth to power. I'd always heard in scriptures about how Jesus could change your life. And I remember crying out, to change my life. I didn't have a life. And I did find out that He was a God of love and not a God of anger and rage, who I was told about in the convent by the nuns. And Jesus now has taught me that life was given to me as a gift, and life can be good. And He turned my life completely around, thank God.